see hit damned old Chucky on the damn trailer. So, y'all know I looked at that job yesterday. I'm in negotiating with the owner now. At the end of the day, you know, I mean, well, I think he wants me to do it cheaper than what I'm telling him, and I don't, you know, I went down as low as I could. I'm gonna go over here to the bamboo site. The other day I picked up a big pipe. It's been over a week probably now. From one of my customers' house where the pipe been laying on the. But I'm in my regular truck now. I've been driving that, you know, that other 250 around, you know, pretty steady. But not a lot going on. So I talked to my dealer this morning and about the Kawasaki engine recall, voltage regulator recall, and he said that they have got a fix, and he said that all I have to do is bring the machine over to the dealer, and they'll take that voltage regulator off and put a new one on. I got to add out, you know, for a potential, you know, employee. Still a little bit early, but I guess if I don't know, man. Even if I found the right one right now, it'd be difficult. Well, it wouldn't. I mean, I could do it, but we're still at a point in the season where there's no yards to do. I mean, none. And we've had so much rain and all that people are not doing skid steer work either. I don't know what's up, you know, but it is what it is, man. We need to damn just hold on to this bucking horse, man, you know, until we get into the middle of April, you know, beginning of April. Then I'll be able to make some hardcore moves, man. I'll be able to actually hire somebody and bring them on and be able to actually, you know, if I hire somebody right now, and I would have to pay them even if I don't have work. Well, the bad thing, and I mean, I'm not totally opposed to doing that, right? The bad thing about that is if I hire somebody right now and I say, okay, I'm going to pay them blah blah dollars per week until we get into the, you know, to the mowing season, even though I'm not generating that much money, you know, to pay them, I would still come off that money, right, every week, just to keep them and train them and blah blah blah, keep them coming to work. The bad thing about that is you could do all that and it'd be easy peasy for the employee, and they're really getting over pretty good considering, you know, they haven't ever worked out here with me before or whatever. Then what I'd be afraid of, as soon as it got hot, they'd quit, and then all the money that I've given them up to that point would just be a total waste. It's only good is, you know, to hire somebody this time of year if I can pay them and they stay on through the summer, right? And a lot of times, you know, that's what happens. I have tried that before where I'll just pay a guy just to be paying them, you know, the business not really generating a lot of money, you know, enough to pay somebody, but that's about it. And then them, you know, come, you know, June when it really starts getting hot, they dip. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's a bad thing about having such seasonal work. Now if I had guys that were out here that I knew, you know, that worked last summer and all, that'd be a lot easier, because I know them, right? I'm not investing in the unknown, because that's what you're doing when you start paying people a salary or whatever for the winter, and you don't even know them. You don't even know if they can do the work. You don't even know if they can handle the heat. You don't even know if they're going to be able to come to work every day. I mean, there's so many things you don't know. but it is a risk versus reward type thing, you know. But it's still a little early for me to be doing that. I'm just gonna slow roll the process, man. I got an ad out. I'll put a couple more ads out on different sites, and as I get closer and closer, and then I might be able to find somebody, you know, that can, I don't know, handle money, not have a whole lot of issues, have their own transportation. In theory, you want somebody that can handle making money and can handle getting a nice check and then not corrupt them or, you know, make them do stupid stuff. More money, more issues. And that's been my experience out here. You know, I mean, it is what it is, you know, but, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to damn invest a bunch of money in labor that I don't even know is going to be here. I have to wait until the business is earning. I have to wait till I freaking need them. You know, and then from that point on, yeah, I may have to hire somebody a little bit prematurely, but not 2 months prematurely. Just gonna take the winter for what it is, and you know, get things ready for the season. I'm doing everything I can, you know, that's in my power, and that's all you can do, man. You know, I'm taking care of the things that I'm in control of, and that's all I can do. That's all you can ever do. You can never really do better than that, right? Hopefully, by the fact that I'm taking care of all those things that I need to take care of, you know, the second truck, the equipment, and all that. I'm not going to do a lot today. Main thing today, just occupy my day and get a few little things done. Man, it's still really wet, man. But dude, I had to get out of the freaking house, man. This winter's been slow, but it ain't cost me a lot either, other than, you know, the skid steer payment. If I'd have, well, man, you should have kept Bobby, man. You'd be a lot better off. Yeah, but if I'd have kept Bobby, you know, at any given moment, it could be a $2,500 fix at any given moment. And then behind that could be a $1,000 fix, $500 fix. There was always, when you get a machine like the T190, and it's already got, you know, 2,900 hours on it when I bought it, and then for it to have 4,200 or whatever it had on it when I sold it, for you to manage that without and not being a mechanic, you know, or whatever, and you have a machine like that, well, there's always something going wrong with it. There's enough stuff out here, and I say it all the time, that can go wrong without me manufacturing stuff to go wrong. Now, that's the bad thing about the T190, you know, and keeping it is, well, number one, it was gonna, you know, eventually break down. You got to know that. I mean, you can't wait till it does it. You know, when it's got that many hours on it, you can't say, oh, well, I'm not gonna make any move on another skid steer until this thing breaks down. Well, if it breaks down and you got to put a bunch of money in it, then what? Oh, if it breaks down, well, I'm not gonna fix it. Well, then it ain't worth nothing. There's a gap there that you got to, you know, you got to jump in when it's at the end of what you want to do with it, you know, because at the end of the day, if it breaks down one time out here, and all the jobs that I've done since I've had Chucky, I guarantee you it'd have been done broke down, probably more than once. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, the engine's got 4,200 hours on it. Well, you know, they've been known to last 8,000 hours, I guess, something like that. They say, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys can come in the comments and tell me, they say that, how many ever horsepower it is multiply that by 100, and that's how many hours it's supposed to be. About, you know, it's not a guarantee according to how good you take care of it. But that's, you know, so that's a 66 horsepower, so 6,600 hours. If that machine makes it to 6,600 hours, I mean, it ain't gonna be worth nothing. Unless somebody drops an engine in it or something, because everything else is weak on it. You know, the auxiliary hydraulics were very weak, and everything. So it sounds good on paper. Keep the T190 and do all the work that this machine has done, and maybe maybe the T190 could have done everything that this one's done. It would not run that new cutter I got, though. There ain't no way it wouldn't. It won't run that. Financially, as long as the machine didn't break down, I would be better off, as long as I could do all that other work. But you don't never know until it actually happens, and then, you know, you don't realize, you don't know, the machine goes down. There's so many other things you got to think about. Well, where are you at when the machine goes down? It don't never go down on the freaking trailer while you're transporting it from job to job. It's going to go down in the middle of the freaking woods somewhere, where you can't get to it, and the rain coming. Yeah, and then it costs you, you know, $400 or $500 to get it out of the woods, just to get it to the trailer. And then you got to take it to the shop, and then you got to, well, you got to wait on it. Meanwhile, the job whatever job it broke down on, you ain't getting paid for that until you get the machine. So you got to invest more money into the stupid machine. I've learned so much about everything in the last 5 or 6 years. I've probably learned more in the last 6 or 7 years, for real, than I did the whole first 10 years. Just about everything. Because the first 10 years, I'm just balls to the wall. Ain't really doing a lot of deep thinking. I'm just doing what I think is the next logical thing, and don't really realize what I'm learning until I step back for a second and start, you know, analyzing why I did this and why I did that. And you know, if you can't look in the mirror at some of the moves that you make in your business, then well, you're cutting yourself short. You got to be brutally honest with yourself, even if you don't like it, you know. But you have to, you know, leapfrog from equipment to equipment, because one thing is for sure, your equipment is eventually going to go down. It's eventually going to wear out. It's eventually going to, you know, have to be replaced or stepped up. You just want to make sure, at least for me, I just want to make sure that when I do have to step up, that I get as much for the existing equipment that I possibly can. And at the end of the day, we all know I could have gave the T190 away and I wouldn't have taken a hit. You know, I mean, from a business standpoint, the T190 earned a lot more money than it cost me. A lot more. And one part of it that that you can't see, is it taught me a lot too. Pricing, and, you know, hauling the machine around, and operating the machine in an efficient manner and all that. Just like, for instance, like your first car. Like, I remember my first car, and some of y'all gonna laugh, my first car was a Volkswagen Beetle. I think it was a 4-speed, and it was manual transmission. And my mama she really loved the Volkswagen Beetle, and that was my first car. And of course, it was old then. That's how I look at you know, Bobby, and how I did Bobby. I bought an older machine just to kind of learn what I can do with it, right? And kind of learn how to haul it around, and how to put it in a scenario to make money without it killing my pocket. See, if I had bought this machine or a machine like this one for the same money, you know, that I paid for this machine, where I got a big payment, or what I consider a big payment, well, number one, I would have never had $45K to put down on this machine. So Bobby, the T190, enabled me to save the $45,000 to buy this, you know, to put down on this machine, a down payment. If I had tried to go buy this machine when I bought Bobby, my payment would be $1,300 or $1,400 a month for 7 years or whatever. And if you do that, I'm not saying it's impossible, but what I'm saying is risky if you don't know or haven't had any experience with skid steers and skid steer work and hauling it around and all that. That would not have been a good move at that time for me to buy a machine like this. I had to buy a lower caliber machine, older machine, and learn the ropes, just like I did with my first Volkswagen Beetle. You know, just learn how to drive and learn how to run the machine. Learn how to do the manual controls, the foot pedals and everything. So now I can operate a machine, an older machine, with foot pedals. A lot of people, and it's not a dig at nobody, but a lot of people, they've never even ran the foot control machine. Well, you don't really have to know how to run the foot control machine. You know, they don't even make them no more. Well, I don't know if they make them no more or not, but I know how to do it, and I can drive a stick too. I can drive anything. And there ain't too many vehicles that I can't drive, because I understand the concept of changing gears and manual transmission. Needless to say, my mom, you know, she loved the manual transmission in vehicles. She never, that I know of, I don't think she ever had a automatic. Never. Ain't that crazy? But this pipe over here is a real trashy looking pipe, and I'm gonna see what I can do to cut some of the, I'm gonna try to cut it and make it where, well, cut, it doesn't have to be as long as it is. I just want to cut the ends off, so the ends are all crushed. There's a lot of rust on it too, but I'm not really worried about the rust. It's a pipe that's going underground, so I'm gonna lay it in the creek, in the runoff, and try to put some weight all around it where it can't move. And there's some big rock laying around here that I can grab and set down in there with it to stop it from the water pushing it downstream. If it does, I can just grab it and bring it back. It's not going to push it down today because there's no water in the runoff. Okay, y'all. Okay, so here's the pipe that I was talking about. I got it from one of my customers' houses where it was just laying up in the woods. But you see, it's got some rust on it. There's a rust hole right there. But I just don't think that'll make that big of a difference. But we don't need it this long. I mean, if it was a perfect pipe, then yeah. But it's got a lot of sediment in it. It was just sitting in the woods, just like it's sitting right here. It was sitting in the woods, but dirt it all, you know, it'd been sitting there for a minute. So, see, and I mean, I don't really think it would hurt it to sit, if it sits like that on the floor of the creek bed where it's flat. Who cares? I'm not gonna be able to bend it back without just busting it all up. And the bad thing about cutting the ends off is you don't have this. See where it's pleated together right there? So probably what I would do is I would cut it right on the outside of these rivets, it looks like. I don't think it's bolted together. I mean, I don't think so. It might be. There might be where they just rusted off. But yeah, they don't look like bolts to me. And this will give me some practice on this kind of thing, right? That's how I learn, man. Okay, so you can see cutting it with this, it's doable. It's probably not the best way to do it. I mean, a concrete cutter or a big, you know, chainsaw type grinder cutter or whatever would be better. But that's pretty good right there. Y'all see how long? I mean, I'm, you know, 30% through it, and this is the hardest part. The bottom of it is a lot more rust on it, so it's going to go a lot quicker. So I'm pretty much all the way around it. There's probably there's a little bit I hadn't got to. It's taken well, 2 batteries, well, not quite 2, an 8 and a 12 to go around it. And y'all notice I'm using a metal blade. All right, look at all that dirt in there. So I'm probably going to hit this with a hammer and bend it around, but I want to go on and cut the other end so I can get the length that I need to where I can pick this thing up and get all the dirt out of it, man, because well, there's a lot of shit in there, man. So y'all see where I had a bridge before. I'm gonna dig all that out. Let me see, make sure we're on the right. Yeah. I'm gonna dig all that out. I don't know where I'm gonna put y'all. I might put y'all on the deer thing right here. I'm gonna slide that thing over so I don't bump into it. But we're gonna dig this out right here and just set the pipe right down in there, and then see what happens, man. I could just set it down in there, but we need to clean this up right here because the water is, well, it's when it comes down the slope here, it's freaking hitting this area right here and it's backing up. But y'all can see the concrete pipe there. It's crushed though. That pipe right there is going to be able to accommodate a lot more water, a lot more. See, it's a mess, man. I mean, we want this shit to flow, dude. Okay, y'all, so pipes in. Things need to settle down a little bit. It might have been just a little bit too wet today to be doing this, but one thing that I noticed over here is that the water comes down the hill right here and then it wants to sit in here. So you see where it's already, the groundwater's coming up right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig a little furrow, if you will, and right here, so when the water comes down that slope right there, it'll hit that my little redneck drainage, and it going into the creek or the stream or whatever you want to call this. But This is yeah, and a lot of this right here, I could like I could reach in here and pull some of this back. Yeah, y'all see, man. Even on a day when there ain't nothing to do, I find something to do. And this is the kind of thing that I do to learn, right? A few things, because I mean, you got to learn how to do everything with the machine, man. I want to see how this does. Well, Ray, you didn't do nothing but throw a pipe in there and put dirt on top of it. Right. Let's see how it does, though. That's all there is to it, you know. But the truth will be when, no matter how good it looks or bad it looks, as long as it works. So, yeah. Deuces.